Welcome. We're so glad you're going to be joining us for the upcoming Business Luncheon. It's a great opportunity to network with other business professionals. My name is Andrew Winnig, and I'm the Elevator Pitch Workshops guy. We want you to be successful growing your business, and so Networked Events asked me to do a short video to describe the unique format of this luncheon, and to give you a few tips for how to make the most effective use of your time. At the Business Luncheon, there'll actually be 3 opportunities to talk about your business. It starts off with open networking. When you arrive, people will just be standing around talking. It's best to try to approach groups of 3 or more, or people who are standing alone, because it's tough to break into a conversation just between 2 people. And a good conversation starter, a good question to ask when you walk up to someone standing alone or groups of 3 or more is, how did you hear about this event? It's a great way to start the conversation. So once the open networking is over, you'll all sit down, you'll take your seats, and each person will be given an opportunity to give a 30-second introduction. A lot of people call this the elevator pitch. And I want to give you 2 tips for making an effective elevator pitch. The first thing to know about elevator pitches is that their goal is to start a business conversation. And it's worth taking a little bit of time to think about the kind of business conversation that you're starting. Maybe you're like a recent client of mine, who if you had asked her what she did, she would have said she was a mortgage broker. And at the time, there was a tough housing market, and so people's response was, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Things must be terrible for you." The truth was that she was doing fine, except that her elevator pitch was putting her on the defensive so fast that she had no way of convincing people that mortgages were actually available. So how did we fix it? Well, now if you ask her what she does, she says, "The best thing that happened to me last week is I helped this young couple purchase their very first home." To this, people respond, "Oh, there are mortgages available?" Or, "Oh, we're looking for a refinance. Can you do that as well?" And so she gets to start the business conversation, and she can sit down with the people for a more extended conversation. So the first tip we're offering for your 30 seconds is to start with the best thing that happened to me last week and tell a 2 or 3 sentence success story from one of your clients. The second tip is to pretend that someone asked you what's new. And what happens now when someone asks you what's new? Most people say, "Nothing, same old, I'm just trying to get by." It's the biggest missed opportunity in all of sales. If someone asks you what's new, you want to tell them. Give a 2 or 3 sentence story of what's new. For example, what's new? Well, I just did this great video for Networked Events to help people be more effective at their business luncheon. So that's the second tip for the elevator pitch, is to pretend that someone asks you what's new and give an actual story of what's new. And you can close either of these tips with just your name and your company name. That's the best way to close it off. So far we've worked on 2 tips for the opening networking, where you want to walk up to people who are either alone or in groups of 3 or more, and you want to ask them how they heard about the event. And then for the elevator pitch, when you actually give your 30-second introduction, the best is to tell a recent client success story or to talk about what's new, something that's new going on in your business. So then the third opportunity to talk about your business is when you're sitting down at the table having lunch. These are informal conversations with other people at the table. And as you all know, the key to being a great conversationalist is having good questions to ask. And so I recommend 2 questions. The first question you can ask people is, how did you get started doing that? So if someone says they're a mortgage broker, you can say, how did you get started doing that? And then the conversation can flow from there. The second great question to ask is, can you give me an example of how you specifically help someone do that? For example, if someone says, well, I help companies be more productive. A good follow-up question to that is, can you give me an example of a particular company that you help be more productive? And that way, you can actually get into a conversation and move the conversation forward, and you never know where those business conversations are going to go. So to review, there are 3 elements to this. There's open networking, and then your 30-second elevator pitch, and then informal conversations around the table. And let me just say before we close, if you have ever struggled to explain to people why you're different, or if you ever feel like your message is not getting across, you're going to want to learn more about the elevator pitch workshop. It's a 2-hour proprietary process that distills your years of experience down into 4 sentences that start business conversations and turn prospects into customers. Hope you have a great time at the Business Luncheon. I look forward to more opportunities to connect with you. Thank you.